welcome to Simply Narelle, and it is time for another Flosstube video. This is episode 46. Today is Monday, the 5th of December, no, January 2026. Welcome to my little world of cross stitch. So, let's get on with some whips. You won't be seeing me today for a few different reasons. One, I'm very, very tired because I didn't get to sleep till 4:30 this morning. So I am in no fit state to be seen on camera. So it's just going to be top down of my lovely projects that I worked on. And I have quite a few. I think there's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 projects I worked on. And the last time I saw you was the 22nd of December, just before Christmas. So I'm a few days late. I should have been back on the 3rd. But anyway, life happens. I was enjoying my little break from everything. So I'm back today though. First day back at work. And I'm here to show you my whips. Right, so in no particular order of when I worked on them, I'm just going to pull them out. And we will go through and see what I did. So a lot of these are for temperature stitching, lots of different games. I am playing so many games. Oh my gosh. I've had to make myself a little grid thing. Check this out. Oh my gosh. And I'm so overwhelmed. As per normal. Right. So first of all, I created this for January, so you know these are the Whip Go ones that got called, and yes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 projects there, because I've got 5 Whip Go boards. I know, crazy, but anyway. But my goals Whip Go are year-long goals, so whenever I work on a project, I mark it off. I don't actually have a goal as in stitches or hours for each square. It is just I want to work on that project in the year. So first time I work on it for the year, I cross it off. So that is why I'm not focusing on these at the moment, because I've got all year to do them. I've got a daily stitch of Crowns of the Kingdom, which I plan to stitch on for 30 minutes. I can work out that for some things I've worked on it more, so that equals a few days in a row, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'll talk about that when I get to it. I'm doing Bringo in the magazine monthly cross stitch challenge group, so that's a different call every day, which has kept me busy. I'm also doing the new Osborne adventure game in Whip Warriors, as well as their hide and seek and a few other games along the way. Also, I'm jumping on with Jen the Caffeinated Crafter and her Great British Bake Off stitching. I'm also doing temperature stitching, so I've got 5 whips assigned to the temperatures. Each whip gets 2 temperatures. I'm using the forecasted temperature and the last digit of the high. So I'm trying to focus on the things that are a weekly thing, because I know if I don't, I'm going to get really far behind. I'm also doing Flosstube Frenzy, also the Full Coverage Fanatics, which is a bingo board for full coverage fanatics, but some of these I'm not playing officially. I'm playing along by myself as an incentive to touch more whips and get more progress. And then I'm also doing Down Under Divas. They have 2 games I'm playing in. One is Whip of Decks, which is 52 cards, like a deck of cards. Each week Melissa will pick a card and you stitch on that project, and you pick your stitch count for that project. So that's a weekly one. And also there's a alphabet one where they're ambling through the alphabet. So for the month of January it's A and B, and you have to make your projects for the different prompts fit the letter A or B. So that is what I'm working on. That's a lot, I know, and I may be crazy. So I was working off this and getting really, really confused. So then I thought, okay, I'll go through all the projects that I have encompassed in all that for the month of January, wrote down all the projects and then what I'm doing them for. Yeah, and then I got really confused because I can't really put on this the Bringo calls ahead of time. So I've got a space here for the Bringo daily calls. I think I don't have the latest one on there either. I wrote it somewhere else. And then the temperature stitching, I could include for week 1 that I knew of. No, hang on. No, I did put them down, but whether they get stitched on that week or not, because I don't know the temperatures. So I had to create a special bit of paper for that. Then I've got the Great British Bake Off, and again, that changes every week for who does what in the Bake Off show. And then I've got the Whipper Decks, which is going to be a different call every week. So that I thought would work well, but then I've got all these unknowns that I needed to add in the end. I'm going, oh my gosh, that's really confusing. And then I was getting confused about what I was doing for temperature stitching. So I thought, okay, I need to write down the dates and the temperatures and cross them off once I've stitched them. And these are the whips that I'm using for the temperature stitching. They're the numbers assigned to each whip. And then I went, okay, Great British Bake Off, I'm going to get confused as well. So I needed to do a separate paper for the Great British Bake Off. Oh my gosh. So here I have all the bakers, their assigned projects, what they get stitches for, and then week 1s. And then I'm just going to cross them off after I've done them. Now the idea of doing this was that, so if I wanted to stitch on something, I could go, okay, golfing partners. I'm going to use that. I've already decided for a hide and seek prompt, 200 stitches for that. Flosstube Frenzy. I've already got stitches I owe from last year. I can stitch that as well. And then the Great British Bake Off, I can stitch that. And then I went, well, that's great, except for these ones, I'm so lost, I tell you. So like for golfing partners, I need to do 500 at least, and then some towards my Floss Frenzy. And then I thought, well, okay, that's well and good, but if I'm looking at another game like at this, and I'm going, oh, okay, 300 for golfing partners, and then I put the piece away, go back to this and go, oh, look at that, I needed to do more. It's like, oh my, I am in such a tangle. I don't know how to organize it so I know what I'm doing. So then I sat there last night and I went, okay, let's just write out a list of everything I know I need to do at this point. And then assign the stitch counts. Oh, sorry. Assign the stitch counts to them. So I went, okay, well that will work. So, except last night, I knew I needed to work on Butterfly Garden for 100 and I think it was 150 stitches something for something. I can't remember now. I don't even know what that was for. I think it was temperature stitching. See, I don't know now. Well, I've got too much paper. I don't know how to organise it. I still don't even know where my temperature stitching's gone. Didn't I just have that out? Where'd it go? Where'd my temperature stitching go? See, I've lost it. Are you kidding? I just had that out. Oh, here it is. I was talking about it. Oh my gosh. Alright, so Butterfly Garden, it came up twice. So I knew I had to put 150 stitches in for... No, it must have come up more. Hang on, because 100 stitches per temperature. So I did my temperature stitch. I must have done 200. And then I went, okay, I'll use that for the Ozball game, where I need to stitch another so many for whatever it was. And then I went, okay, I've done that, I'll put it away. And then I looked at something else and went, oh no, I need to do another 150 on that. So I had to pull it back out. And I'm going, oh, I am so confused. So I don't know. Please, if anyone has a good idea on how I can keep track of everything I'm doing and I know what I'm doing each week sort of thing, I don't know. Any advice would be great. Because then I sat and went, well, this is all I have to do, I know so far. And at the end, I'm going to keep adding the Bringo ones, cross them off as I go. And I went, yeah, but hang on. Some of them only need to be done in the month. Some of them need to be done in the week because they're going to get changed again next week. So then I had to prioritise the ones I need to get done this week so I don't fall too far behind. And went, oh, I don't know. it's a challenge, let me tell you. So anyway, that I didn't mean to go on for that for so long. I was going to show you Snowman Wisdom. But anyway, and then some games have codes you need to put on when you start photo, and some don't. And it's, oh my lordy lordy. I'm in a mess. I'm in a pickle. Anyway, I worked on Snowman Wisdom. So as all that to say, as I'm going through and showing the whips, there's no way, in my state of mind, and how confused I am, I'm going to be able to tell you what I stitched it for. But you probably don't care, you just want to see the whip. Am I right? I bet you I'm right. Okay, anyway, Snowman Wisdom, Sue Hillis Designs, love this, love, love, love this. So I stitched on it twice. I'm stitching on just a bit of Belfast linen, 32 count, in whatever colour this is, but it's such a pretty colour. I don't know, that's the chart. I don't know what it is, but anyway. And I got 437 stitches in my Snowman Wisdom. And that is where I am. Let me move my little snowman and my little cutie. Right, so that 437 stitches is just this snowman here, this variegated snowman. And I think it's really cute. I'm loving it. So I'm hoping you can see everything clearly. I will try and, when I edit, I will try and zoom in and brighten so that you have half a chance of seeing my stitching. But yeah, so there you go. That one I worked on twice. So there's whip number 1. And I'm slack. It doesn't even have its own project bag. It just has a plastic bag. And it's sharing a project with another project bag with another project. Alright, so I do have spare project bags. I really should put it in its own. Sorry about the crinkling of the plastic. Okay, there's one. Next we have Butterfly Garden. Now I know this I'm using for temperature stitching and other things, so that is where I am. This is by Blackbird Designs. It's part of the Garden Club series, number 5. And that is what it's going to look like when it is done. Now I have changed colours on mine, like I always have to do. And that is where I am. And I worked on Butterfly Garden once for 304 stitches. So I think I did 150. And then I put it away, and then I looked and went, oh no, I needed to get to 300. So I did 304 stitches. Pretty. So I did all this. I think I had the bird started. I finished the bird, did all these little ones here and all this around here, and then put it away and went, oh no, I need to do more. Dug it out and did this bird. Now what I'm not going to do on this, it's got County of Jackson is my home. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do the flowers and the pot and the bird down there. And I don't know what to put there. I might maybe put either this motif or this motif, a couple of them there. I really don't know, like maybe 3 of them there. Because I don't want the words. So, you know, we don't really, in Australia, we don't really have I guess we do, but we don't really have regions like that we're proud of. I don't know how to describe it. It's not something that we actually talk about or worry about in Australia. You're right. You're from a state basically, and and I grew up in Sydney. Spent most of my life in Sydney, and now I'm in Queensland. So I have more of an allegiance to New South Wales than I do to Queensland. So, but anyway, okay. Next. Oh, this is a mess, this video. Right, next is Mason Jar Lineup. This I know I worked on for Flosstube Frenzy and something else. I don't know what the something else was now. And I have it written down. So anyway, I worked on this one once for 334 stitches. And this is where I am now. This is so pretty. Now I'm not doing any of the back stitching until it is all done, because some things on the pattern like mingle together and I can't like complete one jar of back stitching because there's other things touching it. So I'm just going to do all the stitching and then back stitch at the end. I did all this jar here. Now what did I say? 334 stitches. That is all that jar there, and most of that is blends, except for this light color here. I think is not a blend. Everything else, all that other greeny blue, is a blend. This one I struggle with stitching because Ada is really stiff and it's got little holes, and my needle I think is a bit big, but I use the one needle for everything, and I probably should find a smaller one, but I like the needle that I use. So it hurts poking it through, so I can only do a little bit at a time. And I was getting to the end of this 300 odd stitches and I went, yeah, I've had enough of this now. It's starting to hurt my finger. So I moved on to something else. Oh, I think this was a Bringo call actually. Yeah, that's what I would have worked on it for. And that was a kit, so I'm using the 14 count white Ada and the threads that came with that. Oh, I didn't say for my butterfly garden what that was. I think that's a random bit of something I had. Okay, next is Crowns of the Kingdom. This is my daily 30 stitch where I am stitching on it 30 minutes a day. This piece I started in memory of the late Queen Elizabeth II, and it is massive because I'm working on a piece of 25 count even weave 2/2, so it's huge. And I worked on this, even though it's a daily thing, I only worked on it twice, but I did 458 stitches on that when I worked on it twice, and not taking it out of the Q-snap because in there I'm stitching on it supposedly every day. But when I did, I think one day I did like 200 or 300 stitches, and I went, well, that's sort of like 3 days worth of stitching, because I'm averaging, because it's like a single color at a time, I can average 100 stitches in a half an hour on this. So I'm going, if I use it for the Osborne game where I'm stitching for items worth 300, 400 or 600 stitches, I will say, okay, if I've done it for like the sun hat that I need to stitch for is 300 stitches. If I use it for that, then that equals 3 days of temperature stitching. That's how I'm using this at the moment. Yeah, so what did I say? 458 stitches. So I finished off here. That is like satin stitch all there, and I did the yellow here. That was already done, that was already done. I did the stem down here, the straight stitch, the yellow stitches. I did the yellow ones there, and then I did this crown here, and that's the start there. That is the start of page 4, and that's the last page on the top row. So that crown is that one there, and I must have read the symbol wrong, and I've done mine grey, and it should have been that red colour. Oops, never mind, it's grey now. It was late. I don't know what I did. So there, that is page 4. Page 4 actually goes down to here, I think. So that's page 4. There's still a whole lot to go. Oh my goodness. So that's why I picked this as a daily 30, because it's a lot to it. But there's only like 4 colours in it, and it's charted for Krynic or something, but I'm just using DMC. It's who's RBG? Where's it gone? It's stitched using Rainbow Gallery Treasure Braid, which is sparkly, I believe. So I'm just using DMC colours. I don't care if it's sparkly. If I want it sparkly, I can add beads, but it's not going to bother me that it's not sparkly. So that stays out so that I can get more stitching into it. It's a daily 30. It's going to be a daily 30 until it's finished. So you'll be seeing that for a while yet. Next we have vintage shoes. This is a old Busilla kit, and I used this one for ambling through the alphabet in Down Under Divas, and we needed a designer starting with the letter B, but we could also use not the designer's name, but we could use the if it was a kit, who put the kit together, like so D dimensions type of thing. So I did Busilla, because it's a Busilla kit, and that is it. That's what's going to look like when it's finished, and it's not far off, I tell ya. So I worked on this for 3 times and put 1,118 stitches into it, and that is where we are now. I did all this shoe. I finished off this over here, brought this down here, did the back stitching around there, and then did all this shoe. There's just back stitching now on this shoe, and then there is this cluster of flowers down here, so bring the border down, the cluster of flowers there, and then the top, finish off that cluster of flowers as well, and then just put the beading in. So there's beading in the middle of these little starbursty things. I don't think there's any beading in the shoes. It's just in the little cluster things in the middle. So that is that one. Sorry, I need a drink. Yeah, 1,118 stitches. That was quite a lot because I used it in the prompt where I needed 1,000 stitches on a kit or a designer starting with the letter B. So to tell you, there was 4 days I did no stitching because, you know, life, Christmas, all that sort of thing, New Year's. Right, now we have a new start because I'm doing the Haid sale for 2026. This is the one I'm doing, Glistening Wings. It was very popular. I think it was the most chosen chart. I've got it on a Q-snap because I had great plans to come back to it after the first time I stitched on it, but of course that didn't happen yet. I stitched on it once, and that was for 283 stitches, so that is where it is right now. So that is this up here. So there's a lot to go, but the good thing is Michelle from Heaven Earth Designs was very, very generous and gave us the Amy Stewart chart that you were meant to get as a reward if you finished 1 page. Well, to our surprise, we got given that chart. We got the full chart of the cell, which we knew we were going to get, plus the Amy Stewart one, plus the subscriber, or the I think it's subscriber, yes, subscriber, I can't, what's it called, reward chart, so that every so often at various amounts of people who signed up to the cell, there were steps of, you know, how many people joined and got to a certain number, and we got a reward chart. Well, we were just short, I can't remember what the figure was, but we were just short of the next reward, the next number of thousands of people doing it, but they gave us that chart anyway. So very, very generous. And I love the Amy Stewart chart, and I'll show it to you in a minute because I have it printed out. and I was so tempted to start it, but I don't have, well no, I do have a piece of, I was going to say I don't have a piece of fabric big enough for it, but I do, but I've earmarked them for other new starts. So I thought, no, these are the new ones I've already got the fabric earmarked for, having waiting to start for a long time. So I thought I don't want to put them off again just because I've got that new Amy Stewart one now. So I thought, no, I'm going to be a good girl and I'll wait. And in a few weeks I'll order the fabric for the Amy Stewart one and a couple of others. Yeah, and then I might start it because, you know, why not? So that is Glistening Wings so far. I'm so sorry. I'm hoping if I keep it out that I might, and on a Q-snap, I might be inclined to stitch on it again sometime soon. I don't want to neglect it because I chose it because I liked it. But, you know, maybe there's so much to stitch on though, isn't there? Alright, next. And I need another drink. Okay, now this is Jump Into Spring by, no, wrong one. Hang on, there's two in here. Ignore that, I've already done that one. It's finished already. It's on the same piece of fabric. Right, here we go. So, Jump Into Spring by Jeanette Douglas Designs. This one I worked on once for 204 stitches. That is where it is now. This I'm doing on a piece of, oh sorry, that Haid was 25 count even weave 1/1. This one is 28 count even weave, I believe. It was a mystery one from a, yeah, 28 count. It was from, oh, who are they? The devil satchel things we used to get. The, do I have it in here? You all know what I'm talking about. Here we go. The Sassy Devils is what it was. This is Cottage Garden, the colour of the fabric. 28 count even weave. And for this I'm just using DMC colours. And that's what I did. So I did the border. I think I brought this down here and across here and then did a fill in at that, and that was 204 stitches. So I was using it for a game obviously, and I got to what I needed and then like, okay, next whip, off you go. So that's going to be pretty when it's done, I think. And on this one I can do the satin stitch on the basket because it's an even weave. I think the last one I didn't do, no, one of the others I didn't do the fancy stitches because I was doing it on Ada and I wasn't about to start piercing through the threads. That was not a go. So yeah, and I'm doing my own colour conversion, so because that one looks like it was done with a variegated thread and I'm doing that just in the one colour. So that is that one. And this one I'm using for temperature stitching until it is done. So that's why it is still on the Q-snap. Okay, second last one. Alright, this is Arnott's. I'm not going to show you this is what it's going to look like when it's finished because it's finished. Woo-hoo-hoo. Alright, this one I stitched on. There it is, look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, this one I stitched on 4 times. Actually, there's another one I should show you first, but anyway. 4 times for a total of 2,730 stitches. This was getting close to a finish and I just wanted to keep working on it until I got it done. I was down here and then I realized that, wow, all I've got to do is just that. So, and it's block stitching, so it was quite quick. There was a lot of it. It was very boring, but it was easy. So I thought, yeah, I'm just going to keep going until it's finished, and it is finished. Yay. So I went and showed my husband and he was very happy. And now I need to find a frame for it and get it on the wall, because that's why I stitched it, so that we could put it up in our family room. There's cat hair and God knows what on there. Oh my goodness. But there we go. Finished. I can't tell you when I started it because I don't keep, well, I didn't used to keep records. I'm starting to keep a few more records now, so hopefully any new starts going forward, I will be able to tell you when I started, if you're interested in that. And the other thing I'm going to do this year is keep track of how many times I stitch on something and what stitch counts I do on things. And then I want to keep a monthly tally of the stitches I do, and then a yearly total of the stitches I do, because I've got no idea how many stitches I do. Like, some days I can do 500, some days I'll do over 1,000. So I'm just really curious how many I can get done in a year. Like, not forcing myself to stitch more, but actually naturally, with how often I stitch, how many do I do in a year? And that's fascinating. So I'm saying that now, but I will probably forget. You know, give me 2 months and I'll go, oh yeah, I haven't logged a stat since I told you I was going to. So that is finish number 34 on my countdown to 60. If you're new here, my countdown to 60 is, I started in December 2023, I believe it was. Got the idea from Carolyn Zook from C Zook Stitch, who got it from, I can't remember, someone else. And they are they are trying to finish 50 projects by the time they turn 50 next year. So I thought, well, I'm going to put a spin on that. I'm way past 50. I'm going to put a spin on that and do 60 finishes by the time I turn 60. Problem with that is that I turn 60 this August. So it's like, I was going quite well in the start of 2024, and then I lost the plot and started lots of new things and wasn't focusing on finishing things, and then realised sort of October, November last year that I've got over 30 projects I need to finish by August this year. So that put a rocket up me to get some things finished. Alright, so this is the next finish. Well, this one was actually done before Arnott's, but this is the order it was in the bag. And this is Candy Claus little ornament by Satsuma Street, and I'll put his little picture next to him. This was finished number 33, and I worked on it once for 176 stitches to get him finished. And look at him. Look at all his beads sparkling. Oh, he's so cute. I love that candy cane. Oh, just beautiful. So it's back stitched, got beading, everything done. I love him. I need to get more of these now because they're really cute. So the other ones I have that I have finished is the, who's he called? Santa Nutcracker. He is done. And also Mouse King. He is done. They're the only 3 Satsuma ornaments I have. Satsuma Street ornaments I have. But I need to get more because they're really cute. And I know they have lots. So there we go. That is finished 33. And that's it. That's all my whips. So that is what I worked on since I saw you last on the 22nd of December. I got no stitchy things for Christmas under the tree. I didn't ask for any. I asked for paper crafting things instead, which I got under the tree. But saying that, I may or may not have bought myself some Christmas presents. Alright. If you wasn't my previous video or one before, I showed all the sorry, all the printouts of all the full coverages that I have. Well, I added to that. I showed you these, didn't I? Yes. And I showed you, did I show you these ones? I don't think I did. I thought I showed you this one, North Pole Express, Heaven and Earth Designs, because I wanted something that pictured or represented the movie The Polar Express, because it's my daughter's favourite movie. So I'm pretty sure I showed you that one. Well, I have added since then, I don't think I showed you this one, Ye Old Christmas Shop by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Chiro Machetti. Love this one. It is big, 700 by 490, and it's got 89 colours. So, you know, I was in a buying mood, and it didn't help that Heaven and Earth Designs had a 50% off sale, so I had to buy that. And then you can't buy one chart at a time, you have to buy more than one, because, you know, you just have to. You're saving 50%, so that means you have to buy at least two to make it worthwhile, I think. This, I believe, was a free one by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Donna Gelsinger. I'm pretty sure this was a free one somewhere in her Facebook group or something. So that is Main Street Christmas. I had to download that and put that in the book because I want to stitch this one. I think it's pretty. This is the one that we got from the sale that we got early. So this is the Amy's Sanctuary of Stitching exclusive, only if you joined up to the 2025 sale. And I'm sorry I don't have a bigger picture, but it is absolutely stunning. It is wide, it's 750 by 420, and it's a gorgeous little stitching spot. You've got your recliner here with your stand and your stitching, a wall of threads, who wouldn't like that, some completed cross stitches on the back wall, a round window overlooking, looks like a little stream or a lake with the beautiful snowy trees, another snowy scene out here, a gorgeous fireplace here, and then you've got I think these are rolled up fabric, coloured fabric, couch with a gorgeous knitted or crocheted throw on it, some cross stitch cushions, beautiful rug, and then a cart here with lots of paraphernalia for stitching, a light and all sorts of things. And then you've got a Amy Stewart cross stitch up here on the wall. I think it's not a stitching shelf, it's something like that. I don't know exactly what that is. You've got all colourful binders here, probably full of patterns, a sewing machine. There's a corner here of an actual chart as well, an Amy Stewart chart. I just love it. It's so colourful and beautiful. It's a sewing basket. It's beautiful. So I'm going to start that when I get fabric for it. And then, of course, like I said, you can't get one, you know, you've got a sale, you have to get more. You can't just get one. So I bought Peacock Liaison, artwork by Jenna Della Grataglio Maldonado. I'm sorry I butchered that. But I have loved this for a while. Beautiful peacocks, the gorgeous Chinese lanterns and the flowers. I think it's stunning. It is 625 by 465 and it's got 90 colours. I don't go for supersize Max colours, anything like that, because these ones are big enough. And you'll see I've got a second folder here because one is not enough. I don't know how many. There's a lot of, you know, full coverages in there, but I had to start the second folder because I could not pass this one up. Traditional Nutcracker by Peggy Collins. Yeah, I love nutcrackers, and this one, even though it's more muted colours, it's not nice and bright, I still love it. It's beautiful. 433 by 650 with 87 colours. I think that is very pretty. And then one more, because I keep seeing Siski stitches with this, and I wanted something to represent that we own a cat, and she's getting up there in years, so I want this to be, when she passes, a bit of a memorial piece as well. It is Blooming Whiskers by Ashwood Studios, and it is 600 by 429, and it is stunning. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't know how many colours are in it, it doesn't say, but it is stunning. So I'm always a top left starter, so I'm going to start up here. It will be quite a while till I get to see a cat. I imagine it's probably maybe second page. I might get the tip of an ear. I don't know. I don't know how big the pages are on Pain Free. But there you go. They are my acquisitions. You know, and I'm in the mood for stitching full coverage. I don't know why, but I just feel like I want to stitch lots of full coverages. So I think this year I will start a lot of them, but I'll also try and focus on finishing a lot of my others that are not full coverages as much as I can, get as much work into them as I can, because then I would like to try next year. I know, thinking way ahead, I'd like to try next year just doing a lot of full coverages, because I have so many of them, as you can see, and they're going to take a lifetime for each one. They are massive, you know. There's a lot in these, and I feel like when I get going on them, I don't want to stop, but I'm not doing them justice because I have all these. So all these ones so far that I'm flicking through, I have started. Tiny little bit in the top left corner. Like, I'm still in the little flower on this one. Like, you know, it's going to take me 100 years to finish them all. That's at the rate I'm going. But I see lots of progress that other people who stitch just mainly full coverages, the progress they can get done. And it's like, mine is pitiful. I'll stitch on them maybe once or twice a year and that's it. It's like, well, I'm never going to see any progress on them if I don't stitch on them. So this was the 2025 sale, and I'm still up here in the waterfall. I haven't done much, so you know. And same with this one, not even off. I just started the second page, which is up here. So, you know. This one I haven't started. I think that's the last that I've got in here that I've started. Oh, no. No. I've started that one. You've just seen that one. I haven't started this one. I so desperately want to start this one. I think this is going to be a start this year. That I've got fabric aside for. Definitely starting that this year. Starting this one this year. I want to start that one this year. This one's already on the go, just a little bit. That one's on the go. I want to start this one so desperately. These ones are not started. Not started. Not started. Not started. Not started. Not started. This one I want to start this year. Definitely want to start that one this year. And then the other one I wanted to start this year was the Amy Stewart one. And I want to start that one too. So yeah, I can see a lot of full coverage starts this year and then focusing on them next year. Anyway, I've babbled long enough. That is it for me. Thank you so much for dropping by. I hope to see you back in 2 weeks' time. If you have any questions or anything, then drop a comment below. If you've liked this video, please give me the thumbs up. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and hitting that notify bell so you know when my next video comes out. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, happy stitching. Bye bye.